Alright, so let me see. So today we're going to be talking about the Soviet Civil Administration, or the Soviet Civil Administration of North Korea, or as they would say, Northern Korea. So we're going to be looking at the post-war period first though, and we're going to be seeing exactly what's going on, right? So, in the post-war period between 1946 and 1949, the Soviet Sakhalin administration, in anticipation for the Japanese evacuation of the Karafutu and the Kuril Islands, had allegedly established a relationship with the SCA, or the Soviet Civil Administration, in order to secure a cheap Korean workforce to be used on the Sakhalin fisheries that were about to be evacuated from the island along with the Japanese civilians. By 1950, the Korean workforce grew to 10,000 people on the Sakhalin Island alone. Of course, during the Soviet occupation, Soviet soldiers committed rape against both the Japanese and the Korean women alike. Soviet soldiers also looted the property of both the Japanese and the Koreans living in Northern Korea. The Soviets claimed Japanese enterprises in Northern Korea and took valuable materials and industrial equipment from Northern Korea. But for the big chunk of the video, the meat of the video, what you all came for, the administration of Northern Korea. So, under the Soviet Civil Administration from 1945 to 1948, North Korea was governed by a group of influential Soviet generals who played a key role in shaping the country's political landscape. Now, first general was actually Colonel General Ivan Mikhailovich Klishchikov, commanding officer of the 25th Army, who played a crucial role in deciding the location of the 25th Army's headquarters, choosing Pyongyang as the capital of North Korea. A decision that continues to have a lasting impact to this day because Pyongyang is the capital of North Korea. Alongside him was Major General Nikolai Grigorievich Lebedev, the political officer of the 25th Army, who trained Kim Il-sung and coined the official name of North Korea, the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, emphasizing the purported rule by the people just in case the Democratic part wasn't loud enough, right? However, the true architect of North Korea's early communist regime during this period was actually Colonel General Tratenti Fodomich Shishkov, the political officer of the First Far Eastern Front, de facto leader of North Korea from 1945 to 1948. Shishkov shaped the nation's politics, economy, and education system. He edited the initial draft of North Korea's constitution, formed the first cabinet of ministers, and actively supported Kim Il-sung's invasion plans of South Korea, which led to the outbreak of the Korean War. Despite being recalled to Moscow and demoted after the military disaster, Shishkov's impact on North Korean governance and affairs was immense. His role in starting the Korean War and overseeing the Soviet influence in North Korea and North Korean affairs remains a significant aspect of understanding the country's history during this crucial period and into the 21st century. Now the Koreans. Now, during the Soviet Civil Administration, Kim Il-sung, along with other North Korean politicians like Kim Tu-bong and Pak Hong-yo, followed the orders of Shishkov's and the Soviet generals. The Provisional People's Committee of North Korea, though officially representing itself as the ruling government, had no autonomy and was merely executing the decisions made by the Soviet Civil Administration. The generals, which were Bedev, Klishchikov, and Shishkov, played a decisive role in shaping North Korea's early communist regime, with their actions and decisions significantly influencing the nation's political landscape for years to come, from the early years of the post-war regime to the early years of the post-war period after the Korean War, to pretty much the Cold War and the 20th century, I should say the late 20th century, when the Soviets were a bit, occupied with collapsing, and into the 21st century, with, what we have now, which is Kim Il-sung, Kim Jong-il, and Kim Jong-un. Could have been a Kim Jong-nam, but on his way to Disneyland, he was epic pranked, and killed by two people on a prank show. It's actually a pretty interesting documentary. I won't lie, I will probably post it in the comments, but with that being said, that's pretty much the end of the Soviet Civil Administration of Northern Korea. And with that, I will leave you with Mongelu Beyoda. So it's Mowalangulu Beyoda, which is learn something in Korean. Yeah, gonna be pretty much a K-pop star soon, so Yep, you gotta invest early, guys. Just invest early. Trust me, believe that. You're gonna be like one of the next top Korean K-pop idols. I'm telling you. What's his name? King. I don't know, man. I literally had his name in my head when making that joke, but I kind of forgot him. But the guy from BTS. Let me actually look it up quick here. BTS behind the scenes. Bangtan Boys. Okay.